So this is survival skills number 2, and again I'm talking about things that I had to do to recover from locked-in syndrome that could be helpful to us right now. And I am able to talk to you today because I had to learn how to talk again. First I had to learn how to breathe. Then I had to learn how to breathe on my own. Then my mouth was still paralyzed, and I had to use air control and control of my mouth, and I had been in a bite block, so literally my mouth was programmed to be spastically shut. And then when that yielded a little bit, I still could not get sound out. So one day at the rehab, at the neurological rehabilitation center that I was in for 3 months, when I was weaned off the ventilator about a month in, somebody brought a computer into my room. And it was the speech pathologist and some other nurse aide person. And they were trying to teach me to hold a tongue depressor in my mouth, the kind that a doctor checks your tonsils with. And they wanted me to hold that so I could push buttons on a computer that said different things that I wanted, like water, blanket, whatever, this little computer. And I put the tongue depressor in my mouth. And I thought about the computer, and I realized that if I did anything with that computer, my brain was going to accept that computer as its form of speech, that it might immediately wrap its circuits around that computer. And so at the time I was using that blink board, and my grandmother was there, and I blinked that I wanted to talk, and I blinked out these letters: no, N-O, gadgets, G-A-D-G-E-T-S, just, J-U-S-T, speech, S-P-E-E-C-H, no gadgets, just speech. And she read that back to the therapist, and the therapist looked at me, and that was the answer. So they took that computer away, and from that point I had to work with a speech pathologist to unlock my mouth. At first I had to bring in books of poetry, and I would try and get sound out of my mouth by reading poems, and we did creative things, and she brought in music. But at night, when my family left, I would have them turn on one album so that I could sit there with my mouth open and try and unparalyze it. And the album I had him put on was Talking Book by Stevie Wonder. And because I knew all of the songs by heart, hang on, my mind could imagine what all the words were and make the connections to the muscles in my mouth that wanted to become unparalyzed so that they could actually conduct sound. So I would mouth out the whole album, and then I would fall to sleep. And then that's the same album that literally I listened to at night to begin trying to facilitate my own voice. So if you think about that, okay, how can I translate that skill? I'm gonna play my favorite song from Talking Book in a minute, so hang on. And how would I translate that skill to today? Well, I would say that's called teaching an old dog a new trick, or teaching a new dog an old trick, because I was singing to an album that I knew, that I felt in my heart, and that I could work my soul and my heart with, but that connected with my brain, and so it all worked in a symbiotic union. Right now we have to learn to maybe do old things that we knew how to do better with some kind of symbiotic union. You may need to retrain yourself in basic sciences and math skills, or you may decide to pick up an old artistic venue that you used to have, like painting or something. You want to learn to just be in more harmony with your environment, so you want to learn about the soils and everything around your house. What I'm saying is, everything that we ever have in the past have had access to, we can have access to it again in a higher form. That music existed in a very high space and place for me at one point, but it lifted my voice back into my body. It put my voice back into my body. So then I discovered how blessed it was. So we can do old things or even new things, just relearn and retry what it was you were once good at, or passions that you encountered but you let go. Just discover something that makes your soul feel useful and passionate. So my favorite song in that book is When I Fall in Love, which is also in high fidelity. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. Shattered dreams.
Shattered dreams, worthless years, hear my encased inside on the shell. I can really sing that song, but this is more about just teaching yourself something new, or making something old new again. We can do it. So again, just think about what you're going to do to survive these times in front of us, and let's make them glorious and not bitter. They don't have to be bitter. Let's not be bitter towards one another. I love you.